Ever wondered if HMRC actually notices small side hustles like selling on Etsy, Shopify, TikTok, or even Facebook Marketplace? Well, HMRC considers that income, and if you don't report it, you could be in for a nasty surprise. Every day, online sellers across the UK get scary brown envelopes from HMRC, and some even get slapped with a fine. So in this video, I'm going to share a real client story and show you how to avoid getting in hot water with HMRC. Right, let's get into it. So it all started when Joe, names have been changed to protect the innocent and all that, casually sold some stuff online. Some outdated tech on eBay, some secondhand clothes on Facebook Marketplace, and so on. Nothing major, not even close to a full-time business. So why did HMRC fine her like she was running an Argos outlet from a garden shed? Because they already had the data long before she realised it. And here's how. Since 2022, under OECD's Common Reporting Standard and new international agreements, banks, PayPal, Etsy, Stripe, Amazon, eBay, Vinted, TikTok Shop, and others are legally required to report user earnings to tax authorities. In the UK, this is managed under HMRC's Platform Operators Reporting Regulations, which were effective from January 2024, which further tightens the noose around the necks of traders. These platforms automatically share with HMRC your name, address, tax ID if available, total payments received, number of transactions, gross sales value. So when Joe's PayPal account showed 4,000 in incoming payments, HMRC knows, even if she never declares it. She's already on a spreadsheet in an HMRC office somewhere, just waiting for them to get her name on the HMRC naughty list. Think of it like Santa's list, but instead of receiving coal, you give them a bunch of cash. Already sweating? Well, don't panic just yet. This video is meant to help you get out of any pickles like this, and we'll get to that shortly. Now, the real monster is HMRC's Advanced Connect system. It's a 100 million plus AI driven platform that cross-references more than 55 billion data points. Even more reason to be afraid of computers taking over, and don't think you're safe just because you say please and thank you to ChatGPT. Here's how you get flagged by the AI tax-powered supercomputer. If your self-assessment tax return shows £2,000 income, or worse, there is no self-assessment tax return, your PayPal account shows £4,000 received, and you've been posting on Depop listings, Facebook Marketplace ads, or eBay listings, well, that mismatch triggers an automatic review. With Joe, she hadn't filed a self-assessment tax return as she wasn't making much of a profit and figured she wouldn't need to. However, the Connect system links bank accounts, credit cards, the transactions on the credit cards even, social media profiles, marketplace sales, payment processor records, and especially risky behaviour showing up for Joe included she was receiving lots of friends and family PayPal payments that looked like disguised business sales. She was selling consistently but declaring nothing, and she had numerous transactions with common descriptions like payment for item or jewellery order. And unfortunately for Joe, once your case is flagged with HMRC, it's usually passed to a human investigator for review. But by that point, you're generally in the position of already defending yourself, not controlling the narrative. So Joe did a really sensible thing and decided to get help. And that's when she contacted us. And the first thing we asked her to do was pull together all the records she had. As with HMRC, if you don't have records, They'll fill in the gaps for you. It's a bit like they're going to write the story if you leave the pages blank, and it won't have the happy ending necessarily that you think it should have. Let's talk about the real reason Jo got caught though, because it wasn't like it was a deliberate attempt to hide income. Honestly, it was more like she didn't realise that even selling the odd bit of clutter could land her on HMRC's radar. No spreadsheets, no stockpiling, just a few sales here and there to clear some space. Hardly the stuff of white-collar crime. The issue here is that HMRC cross-referenced her personal bank account activity with her declared returns. Therefore, that sudden spike in her small incoming payments looked really suspicious, although she thought it was casual. Although in this case, Jo mostly sold things around the house and bought in a few bits and pieces to sell in addition, imagine she took up making handmade candles, first for fun, then to sell on Etsy. Once she started buying materials to make products to sell and doing it regularly, HMRC could see that as trading. Under UK tax law, that means she's no longer just selling personal items, she's running a business and needs to declare income through self-assessment. Even small-scale side hustles can trigger tax obligations if they meet HMRC's badges of trade criteria. Jo didn't think she was doing anything major, just selling the odd item across a few platforms, 500 on Vinted, 800 on eBay, 200 on Facebook Marketplace. Nothing huge on its own, but HMRC doesn't look at each platform separately. They add it all up. So that's about £1,500 total income, which crosses the tax-free £1,000 trading allowance. So even though no single platform felt significant, together they triggered a tax obligation. And if HMRC decides to take a closer look, Jo's in trouble if she hasn't kept any records. No invoices, no receipts, no proof of costs, which mean HMRC can assume the worst. Every penny she received was pure profit. Even if half of it went on postage or buying stock, without evidence, it doesn't count. Even if Jo filed her taxes, she's not safe if her numbers look dodgy. Claim too much or too little in expenses, and HMRC's Connect system raises an eyebrow, like, really, Jo? £12 in costs to run an online empire? So, what did Jo do when she received HMRC's penalty letter threatening a fine? Well, she contacted us, and here's how we fought it. Step 1, request a full disclosure pack. Now remember, you're entitled to request all the evidence HMRC is basing their case on. And we asked for Jo's transaction reports, any third-party data that they'd received, and plus the specific periods that they were investigating. Step 2, pull together all your sales records, all your information. Now, Jo exported PayPal, Etsy, Stripe and eBay transaction reports showing the dates, the amount and the buyer details. Step 3, build a timeline. Jo also aligned her sales dates, her shipping records, her bank deposit dates, so this showed consistency and no hidden sales. Step 4, prove legitimate expenses. She gathered the receipts for her packaging, shipping labels, platform fees. So for example, Etsy has 6.5% seller fees. And then step 5, submit a detailed disclosure. So with our help, Jo filed a corrected tax return, including all her missed income, deducted allowable expenses, and attached a clear explanation letter. And the result? HMRC withdrew the £3,000 penalty. They replaced it with a £100 late filing fee, but you can't win everything. They got rid of that £3,000 penalty, which was the important bit. Don't be like Jo. Let's talk about how you can protect yourself starting today with some immediate actions you can get started on. So set up a dedicated online business bank account. Metal, Starling, Monzo and Tide, they're all easy options. Use accounting software like Free Agent or Xero, for example, to track incoming and outgoing payments automatically. Download transaction summaries monthly from PayPal, Etsy, Depop, Shopify, Amazon. Label your transactions properly. Product sale, refund, platform fee, not just payment. Back up your records onto cloud storage, so use Google Drive, Dropbox, etc. If HMRC contacts you, being able to send organised files immediately will massively reduce penalties and stress. And let's be honest, no one needs more stress. Life's already full of it. Unread emails, lost socks, and trying to remember your NHS login. If you're feeling overwhelmed or unsure what to do next, we can help. At Helpbox UK, we've helped hundreds of small business owners and side hustlers sort out HMRC problems quickly, often saving thousands in fines. Just ask poor Jo. We saved her from turning a dream hobby into a full-blown HMRC nightmare. Feel free to book a free, no obligation call using the discovery link below. We've got your back, no judgment, just solutions. Now, when you get the dreaded brown envelope, here's what HMRC will request first. Full business and personal bank statements for the entire period. Platform transaction reports, so Etsy, PayPal, eBay, Stripe, etc. Invoices or proof for major purchases claimed. Evidence of business structure, so is it a hobby or is it a registered business? For example. Without these, they assume maximum liability, meaning the biggest penalties possible. Now, here's something you should know about HMRC. We actually spoke with a former HMRC investigator a while back who told us the first thing we look for is whether business and personal finances are mixed. If they are, that person almost always has undeclared income. And another insider tip, inspectors have collection targets. We're encouraged to close easy wins quickly. If your records are messy, you're seen as low-hanging fruit. Both of those are direct quotes. So the moral of the story is, don't be a Joe. HMRC aren't going to waste time and money chasing you if they know you're thorough with your record keeping. Think of it like putting a circle of salt around yourself to ward off evil. If you've made mistakes, don't panic. You can fix them. You can appeal penalties. You can even negotiate lower fines if you show quick, honest action. HMRC checks are not random. They follow very clear patterns. So stay off their radar and keep your money where it belongs, in your pocket. If you found this useful, chances are someone else you know needs to hear it too. Share this video with a friend, colleague, or anyone running a business. Let's make tax and finance a little less painful together.